Welcome. I'm Kinetic Symphony. I hunt down and report on mysterious and weird, true stories, from glitches to the paranormal. Case file number 616, written by Lynn Nevermore 18. An unexpected family photograph. I think that I saw a photo of my parents from another reality. I was at the mall with my friend. I won't say which mall for privacy reasons. And we were on our way to the bathroom when we saw this giant picture on the wall. The picture was of different people that had visited the mall over the years. I'm not sure if it was a photo of the exact mall that we were in or not, but at the bottom corner I saw a photo of a couple that looked exactly like my parents. Now I know a lot of people can simply look similar, but the resemblance was uncanny. It was a smaller photo, so I couldn't exactly see the details, but the couple in the photo had an uncanny resemblance to my parents. Here are some things that stood out to me. My parents are a biracial couple. My dad is black and my mom is white. What are the odds that another biracial couple that looks so similar to them would be in that picture at the exact same time? The woman in the photo was holding a Victoria's Secret bag. My mom does not shop at Victoria's Secret, so there's no way it could have been her. The man in the photo was wearing sandals and my dad does not own a pair of sandals like that. My mom also does not own a shirt like the woman in the photo had on. Most importantly, my parents have never been to that exact mall. Now again, I'm not sure if the people in the photo were from the exact same mall that we're in now. I will have to go back and check around to compare the photo to both malls. I am convinced that the people I saw in the photo are my parents' doppelgangers from another reality. Perhaps since me and my brother were not in the photo, one where they don't have kids? My friend and her mom also agreed they looked similar, but thought that the man in the photo was more overweight than my dad. Please let me know what you think of this event. Case notes, file number 616. So, to be fair here, there are 8 billion people on Earth currently. Well, 7.93 billion to be precise. That's a lot of dice rolls when it comes to lookalikes and coincidences. That said, if you distill the odds down, your situation would be exceptionally rare regardless of how many dice are tossed around. Being biracial and looking so strikingly similar to your parents, and also being in your local geographic area, this eliminates a huge swath of that 7.93 billion people. So is it just an extreme coincidence? Perhaps. If this is a glitch though, I'd consider your guess to be the most accurate. That we would be peering into a parallel universe and seeing a mall picture that really was of your parents in that universe where they didn't have kids, and maybe your dad eats a few extra donuts in that universe to explain the extra weight. Lucky dad, eh? My guess is if this is accurate, if you head back to the same mall where the picture was, it'll be gone, or there'll be a picture but without your parents in it. I think you're glimpsing that other universe, temporarily. This seems to happen frequently enough, but it's not clear what causes it. I do think it's region-specific, but it also depends on the person. The wiring in your brain has to be just right, or you won't see anything. Case file number 617, written by cookieboiiiiii. Even extradimensional entities need toilet paper. Okay. I just reached up in the closet on the top shelf where we keep our extra toilet paper rolls, and there were 2 rolls left. As I grabbed one, the other one fell and I couldn't reach it fast enough, and as soon as I looked down to pick it up, it was nowhere to be found. I'm talking of a fraction of a second between when it fell and when I looked down for it. I moved everything around there on the ground. It didn't fall into any container or anything like that. I searched for at least 15 minutes and it's just gone. Did I open a portal, or is this a glitch in the Matrix? I'm so confused. It has now been 24 hours. I have searched far more than 15 minutes at this point. My girlfriend came home and looked everywhere with me. It's nowhere to be found. It doesn't make any sense. I have now tried politely asking for the roll back, as well as test dropping another roll from the same spot, to no avail. Again, this doesn't make sense. Bonus file, written by Anagramsoup. Symmetry of the beginning and the end. I am not a spiritual person, nor do I believe in the paranormal, but And it's an interesting but. 3 weeks ago, my cat died in my arms. Our bond was remarkable. I found him as a kitten. He was crossing a dangerous country road, so I stopped, opened my door, and he just jumped into my lap and curled up there. I was his. I'm an animal lover and I've had special pets, but Solomon was almost like a familiar to me. We even had our own special language. The week he died, he went missing on a Monday. I knew something bad had happened because he always came to me when I called him. I searched every square inch of my house, the woods and land around the house, and each neighbor's properties for days. I even arranged to bring in search dogs. I'm telling you, if he was out there, I would have found him, and I was devastated. Then Wednesday came around. Most of the friends and family members helping me search were exhausted and losing hope. Can't lie, I was too. At dusk, I prepared to turn in. My body ached and my spirit was broken, but I was just so damn restless. So, setting out solo for the first time, I leashed up my dog and decided to walk the property one last time. And that's when he found me. I was losing light when I spotted him out of the corner of my eye, sitting on the bank opposite the creek, a place I had already searched a dozen times at least. I called to him and he looked towards me, almost as if he was searching my face to make sure it really was me before responding, and then literally bolted towards the house. Something was strange about this interaction, but we'll come back to that at the end. So I ran back up to the house, went down to the spot where I had seen him, and searched all around the woods with the light I had left. The entire time, though, I felt pulled toward the cellar, another place I had also searched many times. And in the cellar he was. I knew as soon as I started down the steps. He answered my calls this time, the way he always has, but he was not right. He could not move. Turns out he threw a saddle thrombus, a massive blood clot, cutting off all circulation to his hind legs and tail. Solomon could not walk, let alone move or sprint across acres to make it from his spot by the bank to the cellar in just a few minutes between these two encounters. He purred from the moment I picked him up until the very second he threw major clots to his lungs and brain. 3 hours later, he died in my arms. My Solomon found me in the beginning and he found me again at the very end. I cannot explain what I saw or how it happened. When I spotted him by the creek, I found it almost impossible to focus on his face, almost as if I was looking at a poor quality recording of him, and more significantly, his eyes were completely black, not cloudy, his most distinguishing feature. Even the vet agrees that there was no way that it would have been physically possible for him to have run from the spot I saw him all the way to the cellar. I don't understand what this experience was, but I'm starting to believe that he found a way to come back to me as the end was nearing. I will never forget this moment. I miss you, Solomon. Bonus file, written by Drizzly Earth 175. My head disintegrated through my boyfriend's body. I lost my boyfriend a little over 3 years ago in a car accident. I won't bore you with the details. This occurred about 2 days before his funeral, which was a bit less than a week after his death. The visitation and such took a while, since his death was technically suspicious, as he had had no visible injuries externally. Turned out to be blunt force trauma to the head and chest. Anyways, I said I wouldn't bore you with the details, yet here we are. It was like 9 a.m. and I had just gotten up to pee. I laid back down, since I had no business being up that early, and within about 5 minutes, I felt something warm against my back. I thought my cat had snuck in while I was downstairs, so I rolled over to kick her out, since if I didn't, she would scratch and meow to be let out within 20 minutes and wake me up. But I rolled over and didn't see my cat. I saw him. He was lying there, pale and flawless in his striped long-sleeve shirt that I still have to this day, and his favorite jeans. He had this blank expression on his face. He didn't look at me, he just stared at the ceiling, almost like a corpse, morbidly enough. I was in utter shock and thought maybe his death really was a dream, like I wished it was for the last week. I went to lay my head on his chest, but he dissolved into thin air and my head hit the bedsheets. I just sat there wondering what the hell just happened before I rolled over and cried myself back to sleep. To this day, I still have no idea what that was. Weirdly enough, after his death, I started experiencing rampant sleep issues, including sleep paralysis, and I wondered if that's what it was. But looking back, I never fell asleep. I lay there for a few more minutes at most and was still fully lucid through the whole experience. Not only that, but I was able to move. I remember vividly rolling over, propping up on one elbow, and going to lay my head down on it. I don't know if I believe in the paranormal or an afterlife, but I never had experiences. Yes, there's more than one, like this, until after his death.